Welcome back to Real English, Real Stories. I am Christina. Today we are doing a massive deep dive into 10 emotional phrases that you probably already know on paper, but you likely aren't using correctly in real life. We're talking about everything from I'm excited and I'm nervous to I'm relieved and I'm stressed out. By the end of this episode, you are going to know exactly how to use these phrases to express nuance, how to sound more like a native speaker using conversational modifiers, and how to comfortably navigate professional and social spaces without sounding like a grammar software program. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's dive straight in. Let's start with two phrases that sound simple, but carry very different weight in daily conversation. I'm excited and I'm feeling great. Now, if you open up any dictionary, excited means feeling or showing happiness and enthusiasm. But in conversational English, especially in a professional setting, learners often overuse it, or use it in contexts where it sounds just a little bit too intense. For instance, if your boss asks you to double-check a spreadsheet of tax data and you say, "Wow, I'm so excited," it sounds sarcastic. Nobody is genuinely jumping with joy over tax data. In English, we use I'm excited for future events that bring genuine anticipation. A vacation, a new job offer, a concert. To make it sound completely natural and less robotic, native speakers almost never just say, I'm excited. They anchor it with a preposition. Memorize this structure. I'm really excited about, or I'm incredibly excited too. For example, I'm incredibly excited to join the team next week. Or I'm really excited about our upcoming trip to Italy. It adds a layer of genuine warmth to your voice. Now, what about the present moment? What if you just woke up, the sun is shining, your morning meeting went perfectly, and you feel awesome? That is when you drop, I'm feeling great. This is your ultimate alternative to the boring, generic, I'm good. When someone asks, how are you? Saying, honestly, I'm feeling great today, thanks for asking, completely changes the energy of the room. It shows confidence, it shows you are present, and it invites the other person to match your vibe. But what if you want to push that even further to a B2, C1 level? Instead of just saying great, you can say, I'm on cloud 9 or I'm pumped. If you just closed a massive deal or passed an intensive language test, you don't just feel great, you say, I am absolutely pumped about these results. Pumped means full of enthusiastic energy. It's casual, it's vivid, and it instantly makes you sound like an insider rather than a student. But let's be real for a moment. Life isn't all sunshine, tax data, and being pumped. Most of our days involve a decent amount of friction. And that brings us to two phrases that learners constantly mix up. I'm nervous and I'm stressed out. Let's look at I'm nervous first. You feel nervous before a specific event happens. It's that fluttery, slightly uncomfortable feeling in your stomach right before you step on stage. Right before an interview or right before you have to give a presentation in English. It is a temporary, acute feeling. Now, a lot of intermediate speakers think that admitting they are nervous makes them look weak, especially at work. But in native English culture, expressing vulnerability smoothly can actually make you look more confident. The secret is all in how you frame it. If you say, I'm nervous, my English is bad, you lose authority. But if you use a native modifier like, I'm a little nervous about this pitch, but I'm confident the data speaks for itself. See what you did there? You acknowledged the human emotion, but you maintained your professional stance. On the other side of this coin, we have I'm stressed out. Notice that tiny word at the end, out. You can say I'm stressed, but adding out makes it conversational and emphasizes that you are reaching your absolute limit. You don't feel stressed out for 5 minutes before a speech. You feel stressed out when you have had 3 deadlines this week. Your inbox is sitting at 400 unread messages and your phone won't stop ringing. It is a state of chronic pressure. If a colleague walks up to your desk and asks for a quick favor, and you are drowning in work, don't just say, "I am busy." Say, "To be honest, I'm a bit stressed out with this launch today, so I won't be able to look at that until tomorrow morning." It's direct, it's authentic, and it gives a clear reason why you are setting a boundary. And if you want a highly idiomatic way to say this, something that will make native speakers pause and think, "Wow, their English is incredible." Use this phrase, "I'm at my wit's end." When you say, "I'm at my wit's end with this software upgrade," it means you have tried absolutely everything. You are completely stressed out and you don't know what to do next. It paints a picture. Now, chronic stress inevitably leads to our next phrase, "I'm exhausted." One of the most common mistakes I hear from learners is using the word tired for everything. If you stayed up until 3 a.m. working on a project and you tell your team the next morning, "I am tired," you are drastically understating the situation. Tired means you need a quick nap. Exhausted means your physical and mental batteries are at exactly 0%. When you use "I'm exhausted," you are communicating that you have no creative energy left. For example, after a grueling 10-hour flight, I was completely exhausted. If you want a fantastic casual alternative to drop into casual conversations with friends or close co-workers, use the phrase, "I'm wiped out" or "I'm drained." Saying, "Man, that strategy meeting completely drained me," tells the listener that the meeting took all your mental energy. It sounds incredibly organic and effortlessly and moves you away from that basic, repetitive textbook vocabulary. But what happens when that exhaustion turns into a physical issue? That brings us to, "I'm not feeling well." This is an essential phrase for workplace diplomacy. It is the ultimate polite, professional way to tell your boss or your team that you need to take a sick day or step away from your laptop, without giving away uncomfortable personal medical details. If you wake up with a brutal headache or stomach issue, you do not need to email your supervisor and say, "My stomach hurts and I am vomiting." Please spare them the details. Instead, you write a clean, authoritative email. "Unfortunately, I'm not feeling well this morning, so I will need to take a sick day." It's polite, it respects personal boundaries, and it gets the point across instantly. If you are talking to a friend instead of a boss, you can swap "I'm not feeling well" for that classic phrase, "I'm feeling a bit under the weather." It's warm, it's casual, and it lets them know you're just not at 100% today. Let's pivot to what happens after a major event occurs. How do you process the results? We have 3 core phrases here. I'm disappointed, I'm relieved, and I'm surprised. Let's start with the tough one, I'm disappointed. This is a heavy word and it's all about unmet expectations. You thought you were going to get a promotion, but someone else did. You thought your favorite sports team was going to win, but they lost. Just like excited, learners often forget the preposition here. To sound natural, you want to link it seamlessly. I'm disappointed in. When talking about a person or an entity, or I'm disappointed by when talking about a result or a situation. For instance, I was deeply disappointed by the feedback we received on the initial draft. Notice how adding that adverb, deeply or bitterly, changes the texture of the sentence. I was bitterly disappointed shows a profound level of emotional fluency that standard intermediate speech completely misses. But let's say the opposite happens. You were terrified that you failed an exam, or you were worried a client was going to fire you. But instead, they absolutely loved your work. The weight drops off your shoulders. You take a deep breath. That feeling is, I'm relieved. This is one of the most underutilized emotional words in the English Learner's Toolkit. Instead of saying, "Oh, I am happy that it's over," say, "Wow, I am so relieved to hear that." It shows empathy and deep understanding. If a coworker tells you, "Hey, don't worry, the boss pushed our deadline back by a week," a fantastic, highly empathetic response is, "Oh, thank goodness, I am so relieved." And finally, what if the result is completely unexpected? "I'm surprised." Now, surprised can be a neutral word. You can be pleasantly surprised by a birthday cake. If you want to elevate this phrase to show a true independent command of English, you can introduce a brilliant alternative, "I was taken aback." When you say, "I was a bit taken aback by his sudden criticism," it means you were so surprised or shocked by something that you had to pause for a second to process it. Our final phrase on the list is one that isn't about your feelings directly. It's about how you project support onto someone else. "I'm proud of you." In many cultures, telling someone you are proud of them is reserved for massive, once-in-a-lifetime milestones. Graduating from university, getting married, having a child. But in the English-speaking world, particularly in professional and social environments, "I'm proud of you," or "you should be proud of yourself," is used much more frequently as a tool for validation and encouragement. If a colleague has been working incredibly hard to overcome their public speaking anxiety and they just successfully led a 5-minute presentation, don't just say, "Good job." Say, "You did an amazing job today and you should be really proud of yourself." Do you hear how much warmth and human connection that builds? It moves the conversation away from a cold exchange of work tasks and turns it into a real, supportive relationship. We covered a massive amount of ground today. Here is my challenge for you this week. The next time someone asks you how you're doing, banish the words "I'm fine" from your vocabulary. Use one of the phrases we have learnt today. Before you close your app today, take a look at your screen. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And let me know in the comments, which of these phrases are you going to use in your next conversation? Until next time, stop overthinking, trust your voice, and keep speaking. Bye for now.